Hey, what is up guys? My name is Oleg, this is Bond. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'm going to do a full review of Ginault Ocean Rover. Some people say Ginault. I think Ginault sounds better, but maybe I'm mispronouncing it, so it should be Ginault. I'm sorry if I do. Ginault made the name for themselves by offering highest quality Rolex Submariner Homage watches. Now these watches are not cheap, and that's why they cause a lot of controversy. So they start at around $1,000 US, which is quite a bit of money. The one I'm going to review today is around $1,300. Although Ginault is known to offer discount codes, I don't have a special discount code for the channel or anything like that, but if you go on their website, it's not uncommon to see a 20% discount code pop up, so you can buy this watch for around $1,000. Still a pretty good chunk of change. And a lot of people will not spend that much money for any watch, especially a homage watch, because it's not an original. It doesn't have that crown and the Rolex name on the dial, so it's not going to hold its value as well as the Rolex will. It's also not as aspirational as a watch. So if you're looking for a Rolex Submariner, buy a Rolex Submariner. Don't buy a Tudor, don't buy a Ginault, because you will not be satisfied. However, if you're looking for a watch that looks a lot like a Rolex Submariner, does have a good quality, and is still somewhat affordable at $1,000, Ginault might be a watch for you. One thing I want to mention is that Ginault provided this watch for review and I get to keep it. Now, of course, that's not going to affect the review in any way. I'm going to give my honest opinion either way. I'm going to tell it as it is. So let's get started. Ginault Ocean Rover. Let's start the review, as always, by looking at the dimensions of the case. We have a case diameter of 40 millimeters, a lug-to-lug width of 48 millimeters, a lug width of 20 millimeters, and the thickness of 14 millimeters, although a lot of that does come from this domed sapphire crystal. The watch does wear really well on the wrist. Of course, it has those classic Rolex Submariner dimensions, and that's why they're so popular, because they are so damn comfortable. So this is what it looks like on my 7¼ inch wrist. I think the 40 millimeter case diameter on a diver on my size of a wrist looks perfect. So the watch does have an all stainless steel case with a stainless steel bracelet. We'll come back to the bracelet in a few minutes or so, but let's talk about the finishes on the case itself. I think they're fantastic. Really sharp angles, really good transitions between the brushed finish on the top and the polished finish on the sides. Again, paying homage to, or copying, depends on your point of view, Rolex Submariner. Same thing with the bracelet. So we have brushed on the top, polished on the sides. Just the overall finish, the quality of the finish, the quality of the brushing is really good. The angles are really sharp. Just look at this first link of the bracelet. It's not protruding too much. It's sharp. All the angles are done really well. You can feel that a lot of work has gone into machining this case. Even the finishes, the edges of this bezel are really sharp. Not sharp where it's tough to grip with your fingers, where it hurts your fingers, but sharp in terms of it being easy to grip, and just again, looking at it, you can tell that a lot of work has gone into finishing this case. The watch has a screw down case back, which gives it 300 meters of water resistance. The case back is pretty much all plain. There is some writing on the case back, but not much. It's again paying homage to or copying Rolex Submariner. I believe that you can use the same tool to open this case back as you would use to open a Rolex Submariner watch. The crown is at a 3 o'clock position. It is a screw down crown. It is signed with the Ginault logo. Thread on the crown is really good. The grip on the crown is really good. It's nice and smooth to operate. So you unscrew it as such, and there are two positions. So this is the first position, and then this is the second position. And of course the movement is hackable and hand windable. We'll talk about the movement in a minute or so. But that's where lies my first negative with this watch. It's the ghost position. For a $1,000 watch, I would expect it not to have a ghost position. To me, it kind of cheapens the watch overall. So obviously this watch has a diver style bezel. The bezel action is really good. It's really satisfying. No backplay whatsoever, so when it locks into place. 120 clicks, and it's not sapphire, it's not ceramic bezel, it's actually an aluminum insert. A lot of people in the unboxing video for this watch complained about that. They said, oh, for that price they would expect a sapphire, or they would expect a ceramic bezel, maybe a lume bezel, but I think it actually fits the aesthetic that this watch is going for really well. I think the aluminum insert was the right call. I might be wrong. I think it's more of a personal preference, but I don't mind the aluminum insert at all. Although I do have one complaint about the bezel, and that's how easy it is to turn. To some people that might not be a negative. To me it kind of is, because I really put this watch through a lot of testing. And with my experience, sometimes the bezel is just a little bit too easy to turn. There were a few instances where the bezel turned by itself. I would like to see a little bit more resistance on this bezel, and I think it would improve the overall experience of using it. As I mentioned before, the watch does come with a domed sapphire crystal. I'm a big fan of domed crystals on Submariner cases. I think it looks great. I love the distortion angles. The Ginault Ocean Rover does have a really nice deep black dial, all applied indices, and the indices look like they're almost gold sand filled. It's really nicely done. It looks amazing, and the lume is really strong. It lasts pretty much the whole night. Let me pop a lume shot on the screen right now. As you can see, it's evenly applied, it's bright, no complaints about the lume at all. The printing on the dial is also done to a highest quality. You can see that each letter is sharp, it's crisp, easy to see. Although I do have one complaint about this dial, and it's the amount of writing on it. I think they could have gotten away with a little bit less writing. It's just a little bit too much. You know, eliminate 2 or 3 of those lines and it would be perfect. The positives are, first of all, that set of hands is amazing. It's sharp. I love the sword style hand for the hours instead of the iconic Mercedes hand. I think this fits the design of this watch really well, and I really do like that red seconds hand with the lollipop. Just gives it a unique character, not just another copy of a Rolex Submariner watch. This watch is powered by a Ginault in-house caliber 7275 movement, which is essentially a clone of ETA 2824. A lot of people had problems with that move from Ginault's part. They said, why don't you just buy a movement off the shelf? It would give some credibility to the movement, and it would also justify that higher price point for the movement, because it is a high beat movement. It does have 38 or 42 hours of power reserve. This watch here has 42 hours of power reserve. It is hackable, hand windable, and it's a well-respected movement all around. Why did they have to go out and create their own in-house movement, essentially cloning the ETA? I think actually that was the right decision for Ginault, because a lot of companies do that. A lot of companies wouldn't necessarily clone the movement from ETA, but they would take the movement and adjust it, modify it a little bit, and call it their own in-house movement. One example of that is the Hamilton H40 movement, which is essentially an ETA based movement with a few added modules, with a few things taken away, a little bit of a higher finish, and there you go. They have their own, what they call in-house movement, which it's not really, it's just a modified ETA. So I think Ginault has kind of taken the same route. They've taken the ETA movement as a base, but they recreated a lot of the parts. They finished it in their own way, and they claim that it's a really reliable, really accurate movement. In fact, when you buy one of these watches, it comes with this testing card, and they show you how the watch has been tested over 6 weeks and the kind of accuracy that you can expect. So it's plus or minus 3 seconds or so per day. And again, in the comment section of the unboxing video for this watch, a lot of people mentioned, not a lot, but some people mentioned that they had problems with their movement accuracies, just problems with the movements in general. And I really tried to test this watch as much as I possibly could in the last 2 or 3 weeks, just making sure that I really test it out fully and I give you my findings. And I found that this movement is incredibly accurate. I'm getting plus or minus 3 seconds. I'll be curious to see how the movement holds up in the next few months, but so far it's been great. I haven't been getting any problems with the movement with this copy of the watch. The watch comes on this stainless steel bracelet, and the bracelet is excellent. I think you can judge a lot of micro brands and a lot of watch brands in general by the quality of their bracelets. Good bracelets are expensive and difficult to do because that machinery is very expensive to purchase, and to finish a bracelet to high quality to make it functioning properly is not cheap. This one here is amazing. The finish level is great. All the links are solid end links. This first link is not protruding, as I mentioned before. It's very sharp. The machining is done really well. I really like this clasp. Of course, that's the copy of a Rolex Submariner clasp, but if you're gonna copy something, might as well copy something really good. So it opens as such. Really like this hinge, super easy to operate. And possibly my favorite part of this bracelet and of this clasp is this glide lock mechanism here. So the way it works, you unlock it as such, select your desired length, and you snap it back into place. Really easy to use, really satisfying. Alright guys, so that was the full review for Ginault Ocean Rover. Now what do I think about it? I think the quality and the specs and the finishes are definitely there. It does feel like $1,000 watch. It's not perfect, and I pointed out all the negatives of the watch as I found them, but I think overall a pretty solid offering. It does have the big cloud hovering about it, the Rolex Submariner Homage kind of controversy. And I actually think it's a good marketing strategy for Ginault to take. Let me explain. If 2 years ago they launched just an original design diver watch with good specs and this type of quality, I wonder if we'd be still talking about that watch to this day like we do about this Submariner Homage. I think this Submariner Homage route really put them on a map with a lot of watch collectors, a lot of watch enthusiasts, and look, we're still talking about it to this day. Now, if I was Ginault, my next steps would be to venture into some original designs. I think if they take this quality, if they take the machinery that they have, and if they take the skill that they have and apply it to an original design, that watch would be something that I definitely want to see. So this was a good marketing launch. This was a good launch for a brand, but now it would be interesting to see if they come up with any of the original designs. I appreciate you watching this video until the end. Please leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about Ginault and what do you think they should do next. Should they introduce a new original model? Should they do an homage of a different diver watch? What would you do if you were Ginault? I'm really curious to read your comments. On my wrist today, I'm wearing a Rolex Datejust. I bought this watch about 2 months ago. I did a 1 week on the wrist video, and soon I'll do a 2 month on the wrist follow up and a full review for this watch. So stay tuned to subscribe to the channel if you want to see that video. Also, in the description of this video, there is a secret link. Have a look if you're curious. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had fun, and I will see you guys next time.